Where are all the good guys? Where are the traditional men? Where are the men that want to get married and want to have kids and want to start a family? Like, where are those guys? Where did all the men that want to protect, secure, and really serve a family go? Why are all the men today interested in just hooking up and having fun and partying and drinking and playing games? Like, why are all the guys like this? In today's episode, we are going to dive deep into it. If you haven't done so already, hit that bell notification to stay on top of all of our videos. Definitely subscribe to our podcast, and we are going to jump right in. What's up, guys? Sumi here with ThoughtCast. So, a lot of women are angry about men today. It's anger, okay? It's not frustration. It's not I'm annoyed. It's not like I'm a little upset. It's angry. It's like, what is wrong with men today? What is the issue? And today I'm going to explain to you why men are like this. And I'm also going to give you a solution of how you can kind of beat this whole phenomenon that's happening today, because it is happening today. A lot of men are reluctant to get involved in serious long-term relationships, and it's for a reason. So first thing that you have to understand more than anything else is that men are not trying to be in long-term relationships as much, and a lot of men are more so delaying the mindset of that. And there are 4 to 5 major circumstances that really create this phenomenon. Okay, so let's go into them. First and foremost, men have become increasingly selective on their dating choices. And this is driven by societal changes, economic considerations, and really the evolution of dating culture. There's no secret that our dating culture today is hyper-sexualized. So they have a reluctance towards long-term commitment because it's very easy to get sex. Let me break this down. Never before in history could a guy walk into a bar and just talk to a girl and just say, hey, I really like you. Let's get to know each other. Take her back to his place. Boom, the freaky happens, and then she Ubers back in the morning. Never before has that ever been a thing. Never before could a guy jump on a dating app and say, hey, look, come over, let's Netflix and chill. I'm sure you've heard of that term. Even crazier, never before have we had men that have large social media presences that are like celebrities and athletes that they can post that they're in a city and receive an outpouring of attention from potential female partners. It's never been like that before. And even men, when they talk about dating apps, 30% of men plus report that dating apps are really just used to have sexual intercourse with a woman. And about 10% of women follow that trend, but the majority of women don't. But over 30% of men are strictly using dating apps for the purposes of sleeping with girls. That is absolutely insane. It's never before been a thing where a guy can just go out and get sex from a woman. See, back in the day, a woman wasn't really having sex with guys before marriage. Like, premarital sex wasn't a thing. Even the one-night stand idea was very, very frowned upon. But nowadays, if a girl goes and hooks up with a guy on the first night, it's never considered a bad thing. Even women don't even take it as a bad thing anymore. They're very defensive. Like, God forbid you go and tell a girl, hey, sleeping with that guy on the first night wasn't good. You'll say, oh, you're slut-shaming me? Oh, are you judging me? Who are you to judge me? Only God can judge me. That's like the whole thing that happens today. And look, fair, valid, whatever you want to do is whatever you want to do. But the problem is, not only are you incentivizing men to sleep with you and look at you as a sexual commodity, but you're also indirectly making it very difficult for the woman that wants serious long-term relationships. Men used to marry women for sex and children. That's how it was before. And women used to marry men for provision and protection. Like, that's obviously the case. Now, it's not the case. Men marry women for a plethora of different circumstances, which I'll get into here in a second, but it's not for sex anymore. Men can go get sex anywhere they want. On top of that, there's a lot more prostitution that's available in the world today. There's a lot more female escorts. There's OnlyFans models. There's different things that are available today that men never had before, and it's available publicly on the internet. Back in the day, you had to go to some kind of corner street in your city that was filled with drug dealers and then talk to some pimp and then go get it here and there. Like, it's not the case anymore. There's a digital marketplace for these kinds of services. It's different. There's websites like Seeking.com where older men can talk to younger women just to hook up with them, just to talk to them, just to have a sugar baby. Like, there's all sorts of stuff that's available and very regulated nowadays. I hope you guys understand this. So men have a lot more availability. There's an increased availability of casual sexual relationships facilitated by online dating platforms, by society as a whole, and by the world in general. So moving on from that, the economic concerns and the financial risks of getting into marriage. The financial implications of divorce are another critical factor that contribute to men's hesitancy towards marriage and long-term commitment. Like, divorce can be, and usually is, financially devastating for men. It results in significant losses in assets and ongoing financial obligations such as alimony and child support. The financial risk of this makes many men cautious about entering into marriage. Like who wants to lose money if it doesn't work out? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? That's the mindset. That's where I think it should be correct. Like, hey, if we don't love each other anymore, cool. We'll separate, we'll go find somebody else, boom. But the way that marriage laws are set up, which were kind of invented in the 60s, are very, very geared towards women. And here's the thing. Back in the day, people didn't really get divorced. Like, it was a very rare thing. It was frowned upon in society. You got divorced, like there was a serious problem. And honestly, for men that got divorced, it was also an issue. If you marry a divorcee that's a guy, nobody really looked at it favorably. Even today, I understand that people don't look at divorce as a favorable thing, but it's very normalized. Oh, I'm a single mother, I'm divorced. It's like not even like, people don't even bat an eye at it. But the reality is, somebody married you, somebody had children with you a lot of times, and it didn't work. It's a serious thing. It's a lot of emotional weight on you. So there is a financial risk of entering into marriage because divorce laws were set up in the 60s to protect women that weren't working. If a woman wasn't working and, was the way that she was back in the 60s, she needed a man's income to support her. It was a heavy deterrent to protect her. God forbid something were to happen, but it rarely ever did. Before the 70s, there weren't really a lot of jobs for women because most jobs were labor-based. Women didn't even want to enter the workplace before the 70s. But now we have a different place where women are able to stand on their own 2 feet, which I'm actually very supportive of. But it has made women often take advantage of the system in place, and men are very aware of that. There's a lot of research that shows that financial stability is a major concern for men when it comes to long-term relationships because they fear the financial ruin of a divorce, and that acts as a heavy deterrent in marriage. Look, I'm not sure if you guys have been to divorce court, but men lose the majority of time, and in the strict financial sense, right? So men on average are making more than their female partners, right? No secret there. And women on average win when it comes to custody and paternal rights. So as a result of this, when men get divorced, men lose financially, and even more when kids are involved. Now let's talk about the next part of this, which is increased selectivity, okay? So similar to women, men have increased their standards when it comes to dating and relationships. Back in the day, a girl used to see a guy in her town and she was like, he's a good guy. And a guy would see a girl and she's like, she's a good woman. And there were a lot of good women back in the day. And I still will say there's a lot of good women now, but there's a lot more selectivity when it comes to relationships. Men, particularly those that make a lot of money, that are very successful, are increasingly more selective of the women that they date, especially men that are very successful and stable. They just want more. They don't want just a nice girl anymore. They want a girl that has the bust, the curves that comes with the personality. And this trend is evident in a growing number of men that prefer to remain single rather than commit to relationships because they perceive a unsatisfactory long-term relationship, a personality issue. Men want a lot more today, just as women do. Women are also in this as well. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is the impact of societal and cultural changes. Look, the evolution of societal norms and cultural expectations has played a major role in shaping men's differences and their preferences. The increasing focus on gender equality and the empowerment of women has led it to become more balanced, which is wonderful. But at the same time, it causes men to want equality in the relationship as well. Like there's a cost that comes with this. You want to be in the same category as men in terms of opportunity. Men will want to be treated a certain way when you have those opportunities, when you have that income. And a lot of girls are not okay with this. Men want 50-50 relationships. Men expect a woman to pay herself and pay the relationship because she's making the money. Men have the same access to the job market as women do, and women have the same access to the job market as men do. So this shift has made men more discerning of their partner selection, number one, and they look for relationships that are more mutually supportive and that people have same goals. And this is not necessarily great for the woman that wants to be very traditional. And the last thing I'm going to say here, the big thing I'm going to say here, I think is one of the biggest things that men really don't understand, but it has a huge impact on long-term relationships, is adult content. Look, for the price of like $10 a month, you can get access to a plethora, a vault of high-quality videos that's constantly being updated with a multitude of categories that even come with VR capability to see adult content in ways that you've never seen before. Every category is organized and efficiently displayed for convenience. So what's easier, right? Think about this. Men will date women for sex and children. So what's easier? So to get an orgasm from watching some extremely attractive, sexually submissive woman on the internet from the comfort of your home, or Go find an attractive girl. Talk to her in hopes that she doesn't reject you or she doesn't have a boyfriend. Make convo and banter with her and set up a date where you have to pay for her and then pay for her to like you on that date. You got to go on that date to see if she likes you. Then she's probably not going to give it up the first night, right? Just even though that's the thing now, she's probably not going to. And you have to go on a couple more dates, invest a little bit more time, effort, energy, and obviously more in the conversation. Eventually, you might get some action from her, but it may not even be what you like. You're also risking STDs. You're also competing with all the other men that are sleeping with her at the same time. And then you start facing the social pressure of dating her in a relationship, so on and so forth. So think about it, right? In a logical sense, to get the orgasm itself, it's a lot easier to just go online. I'm not here to say that that's what men should do. I'm not here supporting that. I think that adult content is very harmful and it's very dangerous, but courting women is not easy. And it's not something that men are eager to do, but they do it because they want to have that orgasm. But it's easier in a logical scale to have it at home and to have no pressure from that woman. There is a reason that adult content is 30% of all internet traffic. Most of you don't know this. 30% of all traffic on the internet is to porn sites. So adult content has a severe mental and psychological consequence to men, but men are choosing to avoid women in today's dating market. Women have become very selective themselves. They've become very masculine, and men, as a result, have become feminine. Men want 50-50. Men don't want to try to talk to a woman long term because there's financial costs and risks that come with it, and the economic climate isn't easy, and marriage in itself is an economic risk, and it's easier to just go to the bar, hook up with a girl, or just to stay at home, grab a bottle of lotion and just jerk it out. Like, I'm being so serious. A lot of men are in this mindset. Is it correct? No, but I just want ladies to understand this is what's going on. So how do you beat this? How do you win? How do you find that guy? Well, first and foremost, you have to build yourself up, become the best version of yourself, because as you become more attractive, as you become more selected amongst your peers, you will naturally have more options. And I think the biggest thing that you should do is look for the men that are really looking for compatibility. Look at the men that want to build legacy. The more successful a man is, there's a sweet spot here. The more successful he is, the more likely he is to want long-term relationships and legacy. But the big thing is, if you can proactively make a man's life better and make his day better, a man will do literally anything for you. This is what a lot of women don't understand. The power of feminine energy is so unspoken of. And I think we talk about feminine and masculine all the time, but feminine energy is insane if it's positioned and placed in the right way. And any man that you meet, whether he's a construction worker, whether he's a CEO, whether he's the guy behind the CVS desk or, the cashier at a gas station, if you inject a high level of feminine energy into his life, he will become the most powerful man out there. Men do things for women that they love. Men are motivated by sex. If you can give a man beauty, love, comfort, and you proactively make his life better, and you know how to not necessarily manipulate him, but persuade him to go for his dreams, to build harder, he will do so. Everything I have today, from my penthouses to my cars to the money in my bank account, not trying to sound like an asshole here, but yeah, everything I have, it's from women motivating me. I have been motivated to become the best version of myself, to acquire women. If men could sleep with women with nothing, they would live in cardboard boxes. Men would stop competing. It wouldn't happen. But because men want access to high quality, beautiful, feminine women, they work, they grind, they compete, they kill, they murder, they fight one another. Like, I'm serious. Men do crazy things for women. Every guy I know that's incarcerated right now has gotten there in some way, shape, or form from a woman. And it's not necessarily that girl's fault, but it's a causation of it. Men do things for women. Testosterone is fueled by the feminine energy. So if you're a woman that's very feminine, that's ultra feminine, you can get a man to do anything that you want. And I think that's the winning formula there. You have to focus on becoming better yourself, because when you become more, you can get more. And when you become better, you get better. And ultimately, you need to attract all sorts of men, filter out the one that makes sense for you, and then really hammer down on proactively making this guy's life better. When you make a man's life better, he starts to let go of all the other options that exist in the dating marketplace. That's a secret right there. So learn to serve a man, but learn to serve yourself first. You must become selfish before you become selfless. So I hope this made sense. You can definitely click the link in my bio if you ever want to get one-on-one coaching from me, if you ever want to help yourself in your lifestyle, in your finances, in your business. If you ever need coaching, definitely contact me. Guys, I appreciate you so much for spending a little bit of time here with me today. It means a lot. And until next time, Sumi out.